video. This video is going to be for anyone who has licensed out my video, specifically recommendations for anyone though who does Facebook ads and they want to do it on the more advanced scale, not just a beginner scale with basic targeting. This is going to be an advanced video, and yes, it is 100% free. You're welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and begin. So these are the steps you want to follow for success. We're also going to be covering front-end optimization for success, fancy tricks you probably didn't know you could do, creating an advertisement, probably ninja tricks that you never even know some buttons existed, I bet, and some kind of messenger lead campaigns I bet you've never heard of either. And then we're going to wrap it up and we're going to talk about your ads being expensive. Most likely that's why you're watching this video right now. And you probably don't realize Facebook is an auction, like a storage auction. So there's oversaturation in certain areas. And you could, if you actually look at your data, you could find out where that oversaturation is, cut it, and replace it with something else. In most cases. So let's go ahead and go through this whole process here. Before I start and go with the first three introductory pillars, I would say, let's go ahead and go over to Photoshop, and I kind of want to show you an analogy that I think is best suited for Facebook ads. So Facebook is basically a $650 billion mountain. You may think I'm going to be more clever than Facebook. I'm going to circumvent housing category or credit category or any other category. I'm going to use big text, no text, small text. If Facebook says I can't do something, I'm going to find a workaway around it. I just want you to know, good luck with that. I have found a workaround for a couple things, but honestly, work with the $650 billion algorithm. It has your best interest at heart. You probably just don't know how to communicate with it or how to interact with a robotic algorithm. So let's go ahead and explain it. So here's the Facebook mountain. Here's 4 snowballs. If you follow the Chris Chico method, he basically has 4 different ad sets. And once you get more advanced, you'll start to have individual interests, not just blanket interest categories, but individual interests. That's going to be way too advanced for this video to explain those, so we'll explain the Chris Chico method. So there's one bulk package of interest that you could target, and that's anyone who's interested in loans. The next one would be all of the interests, all 4, combined into one snowball. The third snowball, hey, look, it's a color. It's kind of like pea, like, you know, like a yellow snowball, like a bad one. That would be Zillow, and we'll get to that later. And then there is no interest. So snowballs that have no interest at all, it basically is hyped up. You can kind of consider them algorithm-based, Facebook algorithm-based interest targeting, because Facebook will be targeting people who don't really have an interest, but Facebook kind of knows they're interested in what you have to offer, specifically on how your website is classified, how your ads are classified, how your page is classified, what's in your ads, what's in your video, and how Facebook can relate those things. All right, so with that being said, what about these snowballs? Why does this even matter? Well, when a snowball goes down a mountain, a couple things could happen. Bad snow. So as these snowballs come down, they could hit a pack of yellow snow, which means your ad costs get, you know, super expensive, and obviously you don't want that, right? It could hit this patch of snow, and this patch of snow could basically be a bunch of wholesalers, real estate agents, contractors. They're spamming your post with likes, comments, shares, and engagement, or they're submitting fake leads because they're jealous of you as a real estate agent or investor, and they see that you have a better ad or a worse ad, and they just want to poke you. Now, when that happens, you think that when they're liking and commenting, they're helping you out, but they're not. They're actually optimizing the Facebook algorithm for this yellow snow. And if you're first starting out the algorithm and it's a patch of yellow snow, you need to be able to know that right away. So a big reason why I point to Zillow right here is Zillow is somewhere where people go to research their property. What happens when someone researches their property? They know what it costs. Do you think you can get a property at 30% ARV when they know what their property is worth? In theory, on Zillow, you know, it's not that accurate. So this is basically, it's not a high quality lead. I've actually looked and downloaded all my leads, and I found out that Zillow has never given me a single contract. So I don't care how cheap your Zillow leads are, they're not contracts. So in reality, you shouldn't be doing that. And if you are still doing that, go ahead, prove me wrong, go download your metrics, go download your leads. If you actually got a contract from that, hey, let me know. Let me know down in the comments. Honestly, I would appreciate knowing that fact. After my first 120 leads that I got, I did my analysis and I didn't get a single contract or even like super sign of motivation from those. So I don't recommend those. Now next, so when you do your first campaign, here's basically what happens. You have all 4 snowballs. And if you're smart, what you're going to do is you're going to cut off Zillow from the get-go. Okay, so no Zillow. Where are we at? We're right up here, my bad. You're going to cut off Zillow. No more Zillow. So cool. Now you have 3 snowballs left. Now, if you saw anything wrong with these snowballs, such as one had a CPM of like 100 and was like ridiculous for the CPM, what you're going to do is you're going to actually cut that off. So you're going to cut that one off and you're going to have 2 left. If they're all fine, you can leave them there, or you can make sure that second one is gone. Now you keep optimizing it, and if you realize, oh shit, one turned into a poop snowball, really bad, and the other one just got really expensive, well, you only have 1 left. So you make sure that you cut those other ones, and now you have 1 left. That one turns into a big, beautiful snowball at the end. And that is how you optimize your ads throughout the experience. If you're doing the Chris Chico method with 4 different interest categories, you want to be slowly killing off the bad interest categories by the time it gets to the bottom of the mountain. Otherwise, you're going to have 4 gigantic snowballs. These never gave you leads, and this one was the only one who gave you a lead. And in the end, you're paying for all 4. So why would you pay for all 4 when only this one is giving you a lead? That's kind of the point of that story there. All right, so now let's talk about campaign 2. So you start with 3 snowballs because you're smart and you don't want to do the Zillow one because you looked at your data and you found out it's a terrible idea. So now you have 3 snowballs going down. They're great, and then all of a sudden something happens, and this one, it just had really low cost per click all. It really had a really bad click-through rating. Had really bad CPM, cost per mil or cost per 1,000 views. Again, we're going to go over this later, so don't feel too intimidated, okay? And then you only have 2 left. And then out of these 2, one of these was performing at 50% and you got 1 lead. 1 lead. And this one got 4 leads. So by the time you get to the bottom, this one has 9 leads because you killed this one. And all of the money from both of these started to go into this one. This was the better one, so you basically saved the good one. Don't collect yellow snowballs. So that's basically the rule of thumb that I want you to basically live by with Facebook ads there. So let's go ahead and go back to the spreadsheet, and let's go ahead and dive right into this. This is going to be kind of a long process. I will have timestamps down below in the comments. I'll have a pinned comment. Feel free to check out that comment and forward ahead anywhere you like. So first of all, again, high quality first touch. What does that exactly mean? So I'm in the actual campaign ad set ad. I'm in the ad set level. When we scroll down, there is ways to upload lists or exclude audiences. So it's an audience or a list, and we don't really do inclusions necessarily unless it's like a special ad category. Lookalike, special ad audience is the actual title. So we're not doing that in this specific ad. We're just doing exclusions to make sure the algorithm is nice and pretty. So those wholesalers, just to kind of remind you back there, are the yellow snow. We don't want people who are going to mess up our algorithm, so we exclude them. Down below, I have a list of 97,000 wholesalers. If you'd like to get that list, feel free to click the link down in the description. So I actually have a couple there. I have a real estate agent one, and usually when I'm doing a local niche targeting, I scrape local Facebook groups for real estate agents, wholesalers, and contractors, and I exclude all of them in the local market. So my snowballs are all perfectly beautiful white, and they're not optimized for wholesalers. They're optimized for motivated sellers. A couple things that you can exclude are people who engage with your page. That way you don't retarget them on the first touch. Same thing for lead forms that are submitted or lead forms that are opened but not submitted. People who visit your website or people who engage with your ads or posts. These are all people who've interacted with you, who've seen your message. You don't want to show them your message again because that increases your frequency or your impressions, and you don't want that to get out of control. You want to actually reach as many people as possible and trap them. And by trapping them, I mean you want to actually get their video views. So we'll go ahead and talk about the next thing here. Next thing is retargeting for 50% viewer or through play viewer. So when you're actually retargeting here, so we have retargeting campaigns, 50% video viewers, mostly on the videos here. And you can see some are, of course, more effective than others. This was a USA campaign, so it's going to be a lot cheaper. We come over, and something pretty important to see is the actual video percentage watched. It means it's going to be a little bit more effective. The cost per click all, the CPM, the actual impressions per lead, cost per result is, of course, very important. This was a messaging campaign for retargeting. That's why it's so absolutely dirt cheap. We'll be talking about that later on. And yeah, so that would be the 50% viewer. I'll show you how to create those audiences later. You want to create a lookalike audience based on a 75% viewer. So there's a reason why. So let's go ahead and look in the back end of my metrics for videos here. This is going to be on your page. You go to content library, posts. I selected all published posts out of everything up top here. And here's a couple. So this is the female voiceover. Something interesting to see here. Not a lot of people kind of look and dig deep into this, but you could actually click on the graph and you could actually see the retention rate and the drop-off rate. So why does it drop off right here? Because the pushed ad through play is finished at 15 seconds and then it drops off dramatically. And then right here I have 44% retention rate. And then what happens? It says there is absolutely no obligation, no pressure, you have nothing to lose. And then it basically kind of goes to a screensaver video that plays to give them time to do call to action. But for that call to action window that I still have 10% retention rate, which honestly, in the end, that's pretty incredible. 10% of people stay to the end of that video and have potential for call to action. So what you see here is you see the 3-second video viewers, which is, I really count that as a view. So does Facebook in most cases, 33,000. Now 1 minute video views, which is 60% because it's 1 minute 40 seconds. So 60 of 100 seconds would be 60%. So you can consider these 50% video viewers. That would be 3,000 would be 10%. So it's 20% people watch more than 50% of that video. That's the female voiceover. Now we go to the male voiceover and we see for video views, it's 93,000 and sorry, my cat's jumping up there, and 10% would be 9,000. So we basically have a 10% retention rate at the 50% mark. So really just looking at this simple metric, I could say, you know what, if I want to target people for video views so I can collect the data pool of people at that 50% video view mark, first of all, I should be doing the female voice, pushing that out because I get twice as many 50% viewers, right? So I could actually double my my retargeting net by just pushing video views towards this direction, and video views are way cheaper than a lead campaign also. So kind of advanced strategies there, but something to keep in mind. And after the 75% video view, of course, which would be clicking on the video again after the watch for me, 1 minute 20. So honestly, basically up until this, to that little yellow video in the top right hand corner you see, right until they reach there, which is like a placeholder for them to click down below. As you see, click here with the arrow. It lets them know to click down below so they can basically fill out the lead form. And that's all that I really need them to go to is a 75% mark. So if I retarget 75% people, they've seen the hook. You want to sell quickly and your property looks like this with some funny memes. They've seen the hook. They've seen pain points, which is like repairs, real estate agent fees, hidden fees. Then they've seen solutions, which is you don't need to repair the house. You could sell it as is. I can give you a quick cash offer. You can close in 14 days. Those are all solutions. And then I offer, simply click down below and you can get a quote. And that's it. Pain point, solution, offer. That's how a video should go. I have video licenses down in the description down below. Currently, the one that has been the one that everyone has loved is actually going to be stopping the video license so I can get more high quality leads for everyone who has the video license. I've reached 100 licenses, so I'm no longer licensing it out as soon as I hit that threshold, which is right around the corner. So click that link down below, and if it's gone, I'm sorry, but you can still license out my video if you click down below. All right, so those are the most important pillars. We're at the 14-minute mark, so let's try to make this an hour, but it's probably going to go longer than that. So the front end optimization for success. You want to upload your video to your page. So when you're on your page, what you want to do is go to the video area. and you simply click upload video. Once the video is uploaded, you need to make sure that you click on it and you change the thumbnail. Notice how this is a thumbnail specifically to draw attention. This is the photo that I use that's really successful in photo ads, so I use that as my thumbnail. This is typically what a thumbnail would look like if you did not place a manual thumbnail. It's not as pretty, not as clickable.
You want to sell quickly, but
so we click on there. We're going to go to the right hand corner and edit video. And this is for the video license holders here, so you know how to upload the video and of course edit it, so you could change that out. So we're going to go to video library. Looks like it's going to make us go there. This is a new thing that Facebook is doing for the Creator Studio. So we got to go to that same thing I was showing you before. January 1st. I'm going to go to videos. There we go. All published videos, video type. This was the female, I remember, so we're going to select that one. It's quite a few clicks, unfortunately, so they made it a little bit more difficult. We're going to go to edit posts in the left-hand corner. So I've already boosted the post, so I'm not going to actually be able to edit it. I won't even honestly be able to change the thumbnail. I already have, but it's because I boosted the post, and there's this stupid bug I'm not a fan of. If you boost a post, you actually can't edit the thumbnail. But you basically edit the post, and then you would be able to choose your own thumbnail. It's honestly not that difficult. Next, we're going to create audiences. So that's actually pretty straightforward. We're going to be in the Facebook business home, and then we're going to go to audiences. We're going to create a few. We're going to create a 50% video view audience, and then a through play audience in a 75%. So you select the right one there, and then you're going to go to create an audience, create a custom audience. You're going to base it off of video views. Keep in mind you need to have the videos uploaded already, because you're going to actually have to go choose the content. 50% video view. You have to choose the video, and then if you have a lot of videos, make sure you select this up here and select all of the videos with the check marks over here. That way you could retarget all of the video views. Make sure you're selecting the right page as well. So I'd have to go over to this one, and then I would have to make sure I select all pages and all of those videos. So once you have those selected, you're going to actually make sure that you could retarget them for 365 days, which is a year. Simply name your audience, and then simply create audience. And that's all you got to do. Now, it's basically the same thing for 50%, 75%, and through plays. I'm going to go ahead and walk you through that just so you can see, though. So we're going to choose a video again, choose content type, and you could choose 15-second through play. Now, you could also choose 75% of your video. And again, it's the same thing. You choose which videos or one video that you want to kind of scrape that data from. And that's it. That is how you create these retargeting through play lists. How do you create a lookalike list for retargeting based on through plays, 50% or 75% video viewers? You simply click create audience, go to special ad audience, because remember it's a gated audience. It's not a regular lookalike, it's special ad audience. Continue. Now you're going to select one of your lists or one of your audiences. So we're going to go scroll down, and we're going to look for not a lookalike. That would be kind of silly. We're going to go for retargeting 50% video watchers, or retargeting 75% video views, or retargeting through play for all videos. We're going to select whichever one we want to do. Honestly, if you're going to be doing a lookalike, you want to do it off the best quality possible, which would be people who watch the most of your video. So I would recommend 75%. You simply do that, and then this sliding scale says based on 240 million Americans, we will give you 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5% of those 240 million Americans. So 1% is effectively 2.4 million. So you basically create a list of 2.4 million people who look like your 75% video viewers. So your 75% video viewers, you got to type in your region. And now effectively you have a list of 2.4 million people based on the metadata of your video viewers. You simply hit create and you're done. That's easy. It takes a little bit to populate. It might not be ready right away, so you might need to give it a couple hours. And there you go. So create your lookalike audiences and your retargeting audiences, and you're good to go for video. Retargeting is very important. I want you to keep in mind when you're doing retargeting, check out this video that I did, and this is a similar video that you want to do for yours. Go check out this page if you want to get the video script. If you want the video script, feel free to drop a comment down below, and maybe I could post it to the description or email it over to you. So it's here. And it's basically me just walking around, let's just say a crack house. And I start on a very clickbaity area, which is like, ugh, that is disgusting. So why is that guy in the house, right? It's a hook. So hook, pain point, solution, offer.
Hey, it's Devon from Devon Buys Houses, and you're probably wondering, what happens when I call a real estate investor? Are they going to make me a lowball offer? Are they going to steal my property?
So you basically mention those pain points, you offer solutions, and then you give your actual offer at the very end, and that's all it is. It's good for you to maybe move the camera around the ugly house at the very end, just so you can give them an extra 10 or 20 seconds to click down below for the call to action down below. Nobody does that. It's very, very important. If you were to go watch a video on Facebook, by the way, and you press play and it ends, Facebook pauses your video, moves your video, and plays the next video. So it's important you have 10 to 20 seconds at the end as a buffer, so Facebook can't basically pause your video and go to the next one. So they're forced to see that, ugly house and click below. You can put your hand in front of the camera and say, don't forget to click down below. It's a simple 2-question survey. It's a simple 10-second survey, 10-second questionnaire, however you want to say that. So there we go. It's retargeting for you. It's always good on a personal approach to do retargeting. So about creating the advertisements, let's go ahead and talk about steps to create the advertisement. So create an ad. First of all, there's 2 different ways to create an ad not a lot of people know about. There's this one that you've probably seen, and there's also switch to guided creation, which is this one. And then of course you could switch back to quick creation, and you could of course switch back to the other one. I actually prefer this one. It's just a little bit more user friendly, and I feel like I click all the buttons correctly. So you're gonna go ahead and make sure you click housing category. If you're having errors and it keeps saying you're not in a housing category, it's because you're not clicking that. We're in real estate, so we have to do that. So there's auction and there's reach and frequency. I've not experimented with reach and frequency too much, but I know auction is a pain in my ass. So if you're in a very, very competitive area, maybe you should be experimenting with reach and frequency. Notice there's no lead generation. There's conversions for your website, so maybe you can convert people on your website forms with reach and frequency. Keep that in mind. If you don't have website forms, what you could do is maybe post engagement or video views, trap people as a 50% viewer, 75% viewer, create a lookalike audience, or just retarget those 50% or 75% viewers, and then come back and do a retargeting campaign based on lead generation or message lead generation. So really, the only thing you ever really want to mess with is video views to capture those 50% views or 75% views for dirt cheap when you're first starting out. I do recommend that in your targeted market. Or for viewing metrics, by the way, to see how well the video is currently doing in your market. That's also a very cheap way to see how well it's doing. You can do lead generation, which is on Facebook forms or on your website forms. You can do messages, which optimizes them for conversations. And there's a little ninja hack I'm going to show you later on in the video. It's going to show you how to start a conversation for dirt cheap. But when they start the conversation, you'll actually be able to prompt them to fill out a lead form. So it's actually a little ninja trick where you're optimizing for them to message you, but you're actually getting leads. And if you actually optimize for leads, guess what? It's like 10 times more expensive. So there's some ninja tricks coming up in the video. Let's go ahead and go to the next page. We'll just say lead generation campaign. Campaign budget optimization. So if you want to optimize your budgets across all of your ad sets, this is relatively new. Let's see if I could show you on any of these. So when you're on your ad set level, you can optimize the budget right here with the bid strategy and the budget, or with the one that we're talking about right now, campaign budget optimization. You'd be optimizing on the campaign level and changing your budget here. Note that you never want to actually edit and change this while it's active. It'll mess up the snowballs in the algorithm. You could turn a beautiful white snowball into a yellow snowball because it basically changes and alters the algorithm on the way down the hill. It's like trying to catch a snowball as it rolls down the hill. You could really mess it up, so don't do it. And there we are. So let's go ahead and talk about the different ones. So right there, there we go. See, a lot of tabs we still got to go through here. All right, so now that you're here, you got to make sure you select your right page, of course. I know, kind of silly, but you could be advertising on the wrong page. And guess what? It's still going to charge you. So make sure you're advertising on the right page. If you want dynamic ad creative, most people know about that from Chris Chico's course. You want to turn this on, and it basically allows you to use multiple images, multiple videos, multiple headlines. And the whole purpose of this is to test to see which one is effective. In some markets, actually dynamic creative is better than having one killer ad creative. Most of the time, one killer ad creative is actually the best thing to do, though. I'll show you again how to do that by the end of the video. So when you're scrolling down, really, if you don't know much about Facebook ads, I want you to click on every single button possible. So first here, for the audiences, there is specific lists you could upload if you're uploading a specific retargeting list like we were doing, or uploading a customer list or an exclusion list for the wholesalers. You could upload it here. Skip trace list for tax delinquent properties you could upload here. For exclusions, this is where we would actually optimize for first touch targeting. We would basically exclude people who visited our website, who, if you want to do through play videos, 15-second video viewers, you could exclude anybody who's seen your video already. That way you don't touch them again. So that's not a terrible idea, but you want to split test that to see if that increases or decreases your actual ad spend and cost. And you want to go ahead and do the lead form, open, did not submit. And then of course the 97K wholesalers, you always want to have that on there, because again, you don't want to start an ad and have it go into yellow snow right off the bat. You want to give it the best chances possible to be a successful campaign. A lot of people forget this. It's shocking. Locations, people living in or recently in this location. Always living in this location, always. Because why would you want to advertise to somebody who visited Florida when their house is actually in Tennessee? I mean, maybe that could still be beneficial, but in reality, you're much better off targeting people who actually live in that location. And of course, you could select your location, city, county, level right here. But let's just say we do San Diego, California as a city. We click there, we see that there is a radius automatically associated with that. So it's targeting San Diego right here. And it looks like it's going over La Jolla, even into Tijuana there. So let's say we don't want these lower cost places as much. Maybe we do. So what we could do is we could say, okay, let's do Chula Vista as a city. And that's another way of targeting San Diego, but the, my bad. But the south side. So see, now we're targeting the south side. We're not targeting the expensive north side. And if you wanted to target the north side, you could say La Jolla, and then this bubble moves. So keep in mind, you're not targeting the actual city boundary. You actually have to target the 15-mile radius bubble. So that's kind of a bummer, but you could adjust that right here. The slowest you can go, unfortunately, is 15 miles because you can't really target zip codes anymore. Alrighty, so we're going to keep on moving down. You can't discriminate against age or gender. You can actually add interests here. You could, I believe you could still even do like page admins and stuff like that. That's not really relevant to us. What you would do is, like, let's say refinance, people who are interested in refinancing. So refinancing, cash out refinancing, stuff like that. You could add those detailed targeting right there. It's blocking me now, so I can't. There we go. A lot of people forget about this too. So if your ad is in English, you kind of want to only advertise to people who know English, right? For some reason, a lot of people forget to do that part. When you open this little hidden option tab, this is just people connected to your page. That's not necessarily useful for us. So when you go down automatic placements, it seems like a ridiculous thing to do. If you follow Chris Chico's method, he does recommend manual placements and only to use Facebook newsfeed. But something that you'll come to find out is, guess what happens when 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 people in your same niche are advertising on the exact same place every time? 10 times out of 10 times, guess what? It means no one is optimizing for Facebook Marketplace. No one's optimizing for video feeds or the right column. And these are going to be actually cheaper places to go if everyone is in this same area. So sometimes if your place is really expensive, it might actually be a better idea to just choose automatic placements and just maybe do a couple thousand impressions and see what looks the cheapest. And then if you go look at your data, I'll show you how to do that by the end of the video, by the way. Marketplace. If Marketplace ends up being super cheap in your area, just do Marketplace. Optimize your ad and your video, your photo, your clicks. Optimize the appearance for Marketplace. It's cheaper. Go with that. Why not? You're still targeting the same motivated people, but you're getting them for cheaper values by targeting different areas. So yeah, just keep that in mind. If Facebook newsfeed is oversaturated, again, by the end of the video, I'll show you how to find that out. Now, here's the holy grail that everyone does not know about. You could actually, hide more options. And by the way, if you do automatic, you can't even select that. Facebook hides this very well. So manual options. And also, if you're advertising Instagram, I'm sorry, but Instagram is for old people, not young people. If you want to fight me on that, what's the average age of the Instagram user? Between 25 and 35 years old. Do you see anybody over the age of 55? No. So stop advertising on Instagram for motivated sellers. Okay, thank you very much. All right, so let's go ahead and remove Instagram. And then, of course, remove everything else. Whatever you find is best for your area, that's what you want to actually optimize for. Show more options, and this is the holy grail. Specific mobile devices or operating systems, you can include them or exclude them. How awesome is that? So you can include all mobile devices. You could only choose to target Android, only choose to target iOS. And here's a little trick. Android devices are better in more rural areas. You're going to get 3 times more leads. You're going to get about a 50-50 ratio, maybe 60%, maybe a slight edge on iOS devices when you're in the metro areas. So more expensive areas, obviously iPhones. Less expensive, more rural areas, which is most of the United States, is going to be Android. So most of the time you could actually optimize for Android, but again, by the end of the video, I'll show you how to look at your data, optimize based on your data. Do not just pick one because I tell you to. Go look at your own data. And then you could select only when connected to Wi-Fi, because when someone's driving their car, are they going to fill out a lead form? Probably not. They're going to crash and die, right? So you want to select only connected to Wi-Fi. Very, very important right there also. A couple other things here, kind of irrelevant, but you can look into them if you want to. I believe it's just for in-stream, so if we take in-stream off. I also found in-stream is actually really expensive in a lot of areas, so try to have that deselected. But definitely try Facebook Marketplace. It might help you out in the end there. All right, and then we go to next there. Again, I don't have the geographic targeting perfect on here. I'm just showing you all the things that kind of need to be gone over here. Yeah, we've gone over message, lead conversations, exclusions, interest, narrative by device, ad copy problems we'll talk about in a second. We didn't really touch on, we'll touch on messenger leads in just a second here. So let's talk about ad copy. Here's a big problem. Ad copy problems. Sell your house without giving it away. Never talk price in your ad copy. It's a huge problem. When you call someone, are you going to say, oh, hey, Jocelyn, how you doing? I was just calling to check up on you. You filled out a form. I was just trying to see if you were still interested in selling your property, or hey, you just filled out a form and I was following up to see you, following up about your house, whatever your script is. I'm getting a little tired here at 10:30 p.m. So sell your house without giving it away. It basically says, sell your house. And I think sometimes it says sell your house quickly without giving it away is one of the copies I went with, but it should be sell your house quickly. So let me quickly without giving it away. But honestly, you don't even want to do that. Specifically without giving it away talks about price. What I was trying to say is you don't call a seller and say, hey Nancy, I want to buy your house for $30,000. I know it's worth $150,000, but can I buy it for $30,000? She's going to say no. You say, okay, thanks Nancy, bye. So guess what? When that converts to an ad, you're not going to actually get that conversion as well when you talk price. This is the opposite. Without giving it away, it means you're going to give them full price. Everybody is going to fill out a lead form for that. Why? because it hints to them you're going to give them full price. And dare I say, if you were to follow your metrics really, really closely, even closer than I do, and you found out that this headline got you a lead, I'm pretty confident to say that probably was a full price lead, a tire kicker, and it wasn't a contract or a deal. But again, correct me if I'm wrong down below, even though I know it's impossible to track this metric. Trust me, I've tried. But hey, if you even know how to track that metric, feel free to drop a comment down below. All right, so if your ads are too expensive, let's actually, oops, sorry, my bad. Let's talk about messenger campaigns real quick. So here is the on Facebook lead form. Sometimes keep in mind if you have too much information here, it's a lot of stuff to read before you enter the form, right? It's called friction. You don't want friction. I actually might do a better job if I just remove all of this and it says receive a no obligation cash offer on your property. Remove all of this. Why? Because it removes the friction so they can get to the question faster. This might make them click off. So keep in mind, if your lead form is not set up correctly, that's causing friction and making people click off. So if you're getting really, really amazing metrics on your ads, but people are not filling out forms, it could be because you have a bad intro to your lead form or your lead form is too complicated. So here's how mine starts. I actually pre-qualify them. So whenever I get the lead, I know how hot the lead is. How fast do you want to sell your property? Under 14 days, 30 days, 60 days, or I'm just curious. I don't really care about the 60-day or just curious people because they actually don't really want to sell. It's usually like Zillow people, full price people. 30 days and 14 days tend to be the people that I want to go after. 14 days when I examined all of my contracts and closings. 14 days almost always were my contracts and deals. So this is the one that you actually want to see when the form comes through. You want to call and follow up with that until they tell you to fuck off. Seriously. Follow up with this one until they tell you to go away. And then I basically have asked them exactly what the full address is with the zip code of the property that they want to sell. They enter that information. They go to the next thing. This is autofill. So auto populates your full name, your phone number, your email. You basically confirm. So I say, please verify this information is up to date. Then click next. And then they click next. It's the privacy policy. They hit submit. And it basically says, view your website. You could also optimize your lead form to have them give you a call. I basically say expect a call from an 858 area code number because I used to live in the San Diego area. But you could also have the phone number down there if you just want them to call you right away. So that's a lead form. Let's go ahead and talk about messenger leads. Honestly, one of my favorites. I just finally figured out how to do this fancy way of doing it too. So you could optimize for messages and you could actually end up having them fill out a lead form even if they're doing messages. Once you create this lead form, this dynamic lead form, it actually allows you to do right here, which is the questionnaire. So this is the lead form that I have. I'll show you in a minute. So this is what I say when they click message me. It says, hi, Devon. Would you like to answer a few questions or message Devon correctly? Obviously, it would say their name, not my name. And then you say, oh, I want to answer questions. Oh, I want to message them. So if I say message, it says, excellent. I'll be right with you. Please ask your question and I will respond shortly. Whatever you say, I'm not going to respond to until I actually go view the message. So that is optimizing for messages. But the real trick to the question, the real trick to this, preview in Messenger, is when we restart it and I say answer questions. Now it's a lead form. Does this look familiar? Oh, I want to sell in 14 days. Does this property need repairs? I mean, probably only 1,000. There's nothing wrong with it, right? What is the full address of the property? And then I also include, please include zip code, state, city, state, and zip code. Very important. And then I phrase this a specific way. It doesn't sound like a robot. I assume what's prompting in front of them because I know what's prompting in front of them, all the emails. So I say, is this your current email? And then basically they select what their current email is. Usually there's only one. Sometimes there's 1 and 2. As you see, I have several. I'm just going to put that one. It says, is this your best phone number? Because again, I'm assuming there's multiple phone numbers showing up. And they say, oh, that's the best phone number. Thanks for letting us know more about your property. We'll reach out to you within 5 to 30 minutes. That is how soon you should be reaching out, FYI, if you don't already know that. If you're not doing that, you're wasting a lot of money on Facebook ads and you should probably just stop, to be honest. If you have additional questions, you may ask here also. So then you can just ask a question, and guess what? I don't respond, so the robot doesn't frustrate them, and they'll be able to basically just have a conversation whenever I come back to Messenger if they did do a message like that. So this is how I set it up. If you want to check it out, there's a custom question. Its option is to answer questions. So would you like to answer a few questions or message us directly? The choice is to answer questions. Next question, which is the lead form. I want to message you directly, which is a disqualification. Disqualification takes them to the bottom, and it's not actually a disqualification. It basically means, I phrase it as, excellent, I'll be right with you. Please ask your questions and I'll respond shortly. So it's not disqualification. So it's kind of a little hack because it's not necessarily a disqualification. Because I could actually follow up with them and still extract that information because I still technically have them in my messenger. I don't need to retarget them. That's the beautiful thing about this, is retargeting is free. Next question is the property timeline qualification. Next is the property qualification for repairs, just to see in their mind how much they think their property needs to be repaired. I don't care about what it's worth. I care about what it's not worth to them. Wrap your head around that. And then the actual full address, and then the autofill information. And if they're not filling out this questionnaire right here, guess what? Big deal. It's in Messenger. I could follow up with a personal approach if they're not answering all their questions. I can use it as a human approach and go through and do that. When this is a lead form, when friction happens, guess what? You never hear from them again. So you tell me, which is better? On Facebook lead forms, where you may never hear from them again because they're scared because you have too much text right here, or when they send a messenger conversation and they say, would you like to answer a few questions or message us directly? Answer questions. How soon would you like to sell? They say 14 days, and they stop responding right here. You could pick it up and you could be like, hey, this is Devon. I was just checking in on you to see if you're still interested in selling your property. This is a human speaking right now, by the way. You know, to let them know they're talking to a human, and you can never do that with on Facebook lead forms. Okay, rant over. All right, so we talked about basically all of that, how to optimize your actual ad. That'd basically be on the front end to make sure you're as successful as possible. Now, what about when your ads are too expensive? Oh, that's awesome. We're gonna actually have this be an hour video. I thought I was gonna go over. That's cool. So are your ads too expensive due to auction or oversaturation? So again, auction. You're at a storage auction. I want you to keep that in mind. So let's just have a little Pictionary contest here, right? So you're at a storage auction, right? You have one storage, and you have one guy over here and then one lady over here, and she's got the clipboard and she says, hey, buy this unit, and you basically say $1 and then sold for $1. That is basically a USA lead where there's no competition in bumfuck nowhere, where nobody's targeting that area. Woohoo! You know, super happy. Now, what if there is a bunch of other competition, basically? These are all people, by the way, really ugly people. And they're competition, so, you know, yeah, super ugly. So look at all those people. Look at all those people. Let's just say that is 1,000 people trying to get this storage unit. Guess how much that's going to be? It's going to be like $1,000, because if everyone's budget is $1, there's 1,000 of them. It's going to get really expensive real quick. So if you're going to be in a specific niche market where 1,000 people are competing for this one storage unit, this one person, by the way, because this is a motivated seller, right? And this is maybe the loan category, and this is maybe specifically San Diego loan category. That is such a niche person. You're going to have so many people going after it. Now, keep in mind, I want you to realize this. If you're targeting interests, who are you actually targeting? So if it's loan, you're going to be targeting alongside competitors, such as people who are maybe trying to do a refinance. You know, maybe they're trying to do a first-time homeowner. Maybe they're agents targeting people who recently have a loan pixel. And then, of course, guess what? You also have wholesalers. You have all of this competition. How ridiculous is that? Just because of this one interest category. So keep that in mind. If you're targeting interest categories, that can get very expensive if you don't keep an eye on it. I want you to keep that in mind. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and see about optimization here. That's my scraping data list for real estate agents coming next. And try video views campaign. So that's true. I think we talked and touched base on that a little bit before. I think I have a tab open for it. Yeah, I do right here. All right, so these are all videos. No, these are not all videos. So unfortunately, I don't have a tab, I guess, to talk about videos. Maybe right here, I guess, kind of. So if we go to, yeah, video leads, we can see video plays at 50%. I could sort by the one that has the most video views. And you can see there's 339 video views. These are for lead campaigns. Now, if we go over and we see how much, we go to video engagement, we can see how much a 10-second video view is. Let's see how much a through play is. 22 cents. So if you actually did this on a view campaign, it would be anywhere from 3 cents to like 10 cents on the high end for a through play. So you're not going to get a lead from a view, but you're basically going to have a forever retargeting with the through play. Now you can figure out the equation of the cost per 50% video view, but it's going to be the same as skip tracing somebody. So it kind of works out in the end if you're following me there. If you actually do a video view campaign, it's similar to skip tracing somebody in the area. And if they've watched 50 or 75% of your video, that's effectively like skip tracing motivation. You're basically pre-qualifying them based on the fact that they watched most of your video. And if you're excluding wholesalers and other loan agents and real estate agents, you have a more high quality, potent list here. So if you create a lookalike from here, effectively you're like skip tracing Facebook, if that even makes sense. That's really advanced, but if it makes sense to you, you'll know what to do there. So let's talk about optimization. You basically always want to have a 2% click-through rating. Higher than 3% click-through rating all, which means basically engagement. They click more information, they click learn more, they click to like, comment, share, or engage. Click-through rating all, that's what that is. CPM, you want to have it below 40 CPM preferably, so every 1,000 impressions, you're only paying $40 or less, preferably. Now, if you're getting cheap leads, and you have a high CPM, it doesn't matter. As long as you're getting cheap leads, that's what actually matters at the end. Really highly motivated leads for low cost. That's really what we're after. So if you have a high watch percentage time, that's good. If it's low, that's bad. If it's $30 cost per lead, it's on the higher end. You're probably targeting a niche area. But if you're going over 30 cost per lead, that's bad. You want to keep it under 30 for almost any kind of targeting. And you want to keep it under 1,000 impressions per lead. So let's go ahead and go over that live, and it'll make more sense right here. I'm going to go to my own special breakdown here. It might look different than your computer, just so you know, but you will have this tab if you look for it. So cost per result, let's sort by that. What's my most expensive result? Ooh, boy. So I got one lead and it was $56. Ouch. Let's go to my cheapest result. USA, 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 USA. So most of these are USA, that's why they're so cheap. $4, $4, $4, $4, $5. I consider USA leads like piggyback leads or loaner leads. I won't explain that in this video. There's different ways to target. It's a totally different video. I could spend a minimum an hour on just with targeting USA versus county versus city versus, you know, in theory zip code, but that's not really possible anymore. So anyways, USA is going to be the cheapest, again, because you're targeting so many people. It's so broad that basically you're not going to be inundated with competition at your auction. And then when you go to the exact opposite, let's see what this was. Just that it's probably San Diego for $56. San Diego, Riverside, Imperial County. So 3 counties, expensive in Southern California. Go figure. That one lead was $56. And that's kind of on par with optimization. If you're trying to target a specific area, it tends to be expensive. Those were 3 counties. So that was pretty bad on the ad level. That ad set was probably turned off. I can't tell though right now by going and looking. All right, so let's go ahead and go with the data. So that is cost per result, CPL. You could see 3-second video plays. You could see unique click-through rating. All 10% is amazing. Retargeting. My memes video, good. My memes video, good. My memes video, memes video, memes video, memes video, retargeting, memes video, memes video, memes video, memes video. As you can see, my memes video, because I optimize, is all over 3%. Let's go on the exact opposite side. Let's see what performed poorly. 1.7% click-through rating all, so basically you can consider this engagement with the ad, was a dude with a loudspeaker on top of the house. And of course, this is dynamic, by the way, so there's probably multiple photos. But basically, it was a photo campaign with a loudspeaker. This was a campaign with no human people on it. This was one with a little God hand. It's 2.6. It wasn't terrible, but it's not over 3, and that's what we're talking about, right? Impressions, you want it to be over 1,000 per lead. So let's go ahead and sort by the most impressions, see how much leads we got. So we got 5 leads. So that would be 1 lead every 2,000 impressions. That's not too good, to be honest. It was $30 too, not too good. 8,700. Oh, these are my first campaigns when I kind of first started. Let's see, 8,700, 5 leads again, not too great. 5,000 and 5. So right here, we're starting to hit one out of every 1,000. And guess what? That's a retargeting campaign because they're more motivated because you're retargeting based on video views. Starting to make sense now, right? So we got 5,000 right here. And again, 5 leads. Notice no drone video, retargeting video based on the drone video. And here's the drone video. So I'm starting to actually get into the good quality territory for leads per impressions once I started using this video. And we go down to the 3,000 one right there. And it's 1. The White House right there is 3. So yeah, some of these are 1 for every 3,000. But the real sweet spot is when you go under 3,000. And the only time you actually really, truly ever go under that is when you have a really high quality ad set or interest. Or if you do like a lookalike based on 75%, cough, cough, hint, hint. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We basically covered everything down there. Let's see what the highest CPM was. We didn't do that. Let's go to performance and clicks. And I'm honestly curious. What was the highest CPM out of everything? That's the cheapest. Was the, oh, nice. Drone video. This is probably USA, I'm assuming, for it to be that cheap.
Now when you decide to start running video ads, click the link down below and I'll get you started in the next 24 hours.
It should be very inspiring for everybody here. And again, I'm just like, man, just genuinely happy and excited for you. I really am. And I really
Thank you, man. And I'd like to shout out to Devon for the funny videos, dude. You know Devon that does the videos?
Yeah. Have you been using his video?
I absolutely have.
Okay. And those have worked out well for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Have you been using his video?
I absolutely have.
You want to sell quickly, but your property looks like this?
What else is new?
Give me 43 seconds and I'll share with you how to sell a house like this in under 14 days.
Gee, I only have 45 minutes. I'll have to hurry.
Typically, when someone wants to sell a house, this is the usual process.
And then we go on the opposite spectrum. Oh, wow. $120 CPM. It only has 88 impressions. So obviously I was smart and I turned it off because that is grossly expensive. Same thing here, the snowball. You could say the snowball, right? The metaphor. Snowball is expensive. Snowball's expensive, expensive. You can see I don't let the impressions ever go over 1,000. If it goes to like 100 and it's still ridiculous, then it goes to 200 and it's still ridiculous. It goes to 400 and it's still over like 40. Then I just turn them off. So you can see that all of these with low impressions under 1,000 are all pretty expensive, right? And the ones that are over 1,000 are generally speaking under 40. And the reason why is because I optimize. It's all starting to make sense now, right? All right, so if you want to find the winning dynamics and you want to investigate why the winners won, and you want to make new little babies with the winners. So let's go ahead and show you how to do that. So performance and clicks, let's just do performance so we see how many results we got. And we're going to go ahead and go to breakdown now. If you don't know how to do this, dynamic creative asset breakdown. If you're doing dynamic ads, multiple images, URLs, text, headlines, descriptions, or different call to actions, you'd have all those options right here. So let's go ahead and see what image won on, let's say the cheapest. What image won us the most lead? Let's go with that. All right, so USA drone, male versus female. Okay, so that's a male versus female. That is the drone video voiceover. So one got 7, one got 5, one got 2, one got 1. It was pretty, wow, that's this. Okay, this is a USA campaign. It has to be, because I got 1 lead every like 70 people, which is absolutely incredible. $3 lead, yeah, that's a USA campaign for sure. We come down here, this is a more realistic average, $11, most likely not a USA campaign. Again, my drone video got us 5. Again, seeing sort by results, most of my like high quality leads are coming from my drone video. That's why I licensed it out, because I split tested to death for you guys. Based on all the information you saw right now, I mean, I think you know that I do my split testing, right? So we see 4 image couples here. The one that actually won, that's the only one we care about. 5-to-1 ratio. Who cares about these leads that didn't, who cares about these images that didn't work? I don't. So let's go ahead and click on the 5 one. Which one should I basically use every time? Okay, so the old people. I should use the old people every time. Noted. So what about this one? 4-to-1. Really old couple? Interesting, okay. So maybe I should always use a really old couple. What did they say? Sell your house, okay. Now, what did these say? Does it say we buy houses or sell your house? Sell your house. Okay, interesting. I did try we buy houses in 30 days with this old couple. Guess what? People thought the old couple bought houses. So keep that in mind. It's all about what the actual person sees and the psychology when they're digesting the information, and you could be sending the wrong message. So just keep that in mind when you're making your ads, okay? So if we just do a couple more that stand out, like a 5-to-1, this is a 3-to-1. Let's see which one it won against. I think it was like female.
Give me 40.
Yeah, that was the female. Is this a variation of the female, or?
Give me 43 seconds.
And that's the male. So in this circumstance, this is why I always do dynamic male video and female video, because in the end, one usually starts to win over, and you never know which one it's going to be. But so the female won that time. And you can see I actually had more in reach with the male video. So I probably should have, actually no, there's no way to turn that off, because you can't actually see this dynamic as the video is running. You have to wait until you get a lead. But once I get a lead, I could actually come look at these metrics. And if I see, holy cow, I've done 5,000 reach, 5,000 impression, and I've only gotten 1 lead. Let me turn off the male video, or maybe remove the male video and let the algorithm continue with that. Now keep in mind, if you do remove ad copy or a dynamic while the dynamic is running, there is a chance you can mess up and reset the snowballs at the top of the mountain. Keep that in mind. Sometimes it will work in your favor. So if you want to test it out and risk it, go ahead. But right here, wow, 1 out of 500 impressions, I'm getting a lead. Look how crazy expensive that is. I should have just deleted the male video once I saw this and went with the female video. And then I would have skyrocketed leads for like $10, $11, $15, super cheap, because it's optimizing in that window for women. It's most likely also targeting more women too, because the female video tends to get more women. So that's how you investigate for winners, just to show you for like headlines as an example. You're gonna actually see the headline I don't like. This is why everyone gets cheap leads, cheap CPL, and they brag about it. But guess what? You're not converting your leads. So you could be bragging about your $10 CPL, cost per lead, all you want. But if you're not converting any of those 10 leads because they're all, full retail priced leads, well, then that's something to think about. So sell your house quickly without giving it away, 5. Sell your house yesterday, 6. Same thing. Sell your house quickly without giving it away, talking about a full retail price, or sell your house yesterday. Same thing, but I'm not talking about price. So how you phrase this headline could actually benefit you. Also, something I don't like about this is it's so long, it cuts off into 2 lines, and it just doesn't make the ad look as pretty. But also you're talking about price, which I don't think is a good idea in the ad. Some other top headlines: sell your house in 14 days, sell your property hassle-free. Something that I usually stick to now, honestly, is sell your house in 14 days and we buy houses in 14 days. That's a different variable on that I tested out, but those are kind of the ones that are working for me most. But it honestly depends on your ad, who you're trying to talk to, what's the purpose, what's the intent, who is your actual customer avatar. And that's what we're trying to get to at the very end here. You want to analyze your data and you want to find out which one out of the ad copies, the headlines, the platforms, the devices, the ages, and more. Let me go ahead and finish on that. Clear dynamic breakdown. And you want to go to breakdown delivery. You can go to impression device. And you can actually see where all your leads came from. Look, 4 from iPhone, 10 from Android. Remember, this is me. Don't copy this data because it's my data, not yours. And I'm not being selfish. I'm just letting you know, if you're targeting a different market than I am, you're going to have different results. Don't optimize based on my data. Don't do it. Trust me. You'll waste money. You're going to be mad at me, but I'm telling you right now, it's your fault. Don't do it. So optimize on your own data. 6-to-1 ratio, iPhones and Androids. But most of these are, that's not a USA campaign actually. So that's a different campaign. But this USA campaign, because I know it's because it's super dirt cheap, is a 10-to-4. So it's almost double, 2.5, 250% more Androids. And they're basically the same price. So why don't I get 250% more leads if I just targeted Android like I showed you earlier in the video? Now, if we scroll down, we can see desktop. There was a button that snuck up on me earlier today, and you could actually target only desktop now, but I couldn't find out how to go back and do it. Facebook likes to roll out little new tests, and I have no idea. It popped up once for me, and I couldn't find it again. So sometimes that happens with Facebook, unfortunately. And again, 3-to-1. So 1 iPhone, 3 Android. This is retargeting too. So even on my retarget, I tend to have more Android users on my retarget. So isn't that crazy? So don't just look at your first touch targeting campaigns. Look at your retargeting campaigns too and see exactly who's coming from your retargeting campaigns, because honestly, your retargeting campaigns are going to be your money makers. Those are going to be your contracts and your deals. And if you're in a metro area, it's probably going to be iPhone. So go ahead and start an argument with me down in the comments down below. If you're in the middle of nowhere and you're getting iPhone leads that close contracts, let me know, because every market is different. So I'm going to totally believe you. But for me, generally speaking, it's almost always Androids. And you can look at this data too, by the way. You just go to performance and you go right down there to dynamic creative asset, or for device, you simply go to breakdowns, delivery, impression, device. So you could also go to delivery. We were talking about placement, right? So let's go to placement. Let's go to placement and device too, actually. Let's make it less complicated, just in case you're a beginner watching this video. Let's just talk about one thing, which is placements. And then the video is basically done after we talk about this. Gathering this data and finding out where you're getting your cheapest leads, your best leads, this is how you're going to grow. This is how you're going to get cheaper leads and higher motivation if you look at all your data. So look, Facebook newsfeed on the mobile app. Newsfeed, I got 3 leads for $4, USA campaign most likely. Right here, I got 3 leads from desktop. Don't sleep on desktop. Super cheap. Guess where I also got leads in the same campaign? On the mobile app for $75. So, that's interesting. Desktop seems to be the place where it's going for this niche market. Whereas when it's USA, I want to be on, I think it was the mobile app. Yeah, so the mobile app. And honestly, probably Android if we look at that data too. Then we see right here, newsfeed, mobile app, $20. And then if we want to come back here and we want to make it more complicated, platform and device, placement and device. Now we can go back and see, okay, we got 4 leads from Android newsfeed mobile. Oh, isn't that interesting? So we could
Now when you decide to start running video ads, click the link down below and I'll get you started in the next 24 hours.
Have you been using his video?
I absolutely have.
Okay. And those have worked out well for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Have you been using his video?
I absolutely have.
You want to sell quickly, but your property looks like this?
What else is new?
Give me 43 seconds and I'll share with you how to sell a house like this in under 14 days.
Gee, I only have 45 minutes. I'll have to hurry.
Typically, when someone wants to sell a house, this is the usual process.